Okay, all right, cool. Let's get started. All right. Okay, so this is the business plan draft assignment. There's some decent information on this page right here. So just kind of giving you the overview. And this is basically the outline that you would need to give to a bank. So everything that we've been working on so far in this class gets put into the business plan. Even the Instagram link, and you can take a screenshot of your website, that should get put into the appendices. So you want to make sure that that's all in there. And the whole purpose of this is, number one, it's a business plan to guide you to create a business. And then number two, something that you can give a bank. And the idea behind this class is you'll be able to have almost one complete. You'll need to tweak it and edit it a little bit more than what's the final product in this class before, if you want to open up a business before you give it to a bank, because it's not a full-on business plan. It takes a little bit more. You need a little bit more market analysis and data analysis. The bank really, really wants to know how you're going to make money, because they won't lend you money if they don't know how you're going to make money. So these are kind of the domains of a business plan. So you got to have all those. I'll let you read that. You can read that. And then let's go and actually look at the assignment itself. So first and foremost, let's just talk formatting, because that's usually one of the biggest things that is an issue, especially if you look at the example business plan. I don't want the formatting like the example business plan. The formatting for this should be either APA 6 or APA 7. And why I do that is because when you get to grad school, you're going to have to write in either APA 6 or APA 7. So you might as well learn how to do it now. Now, you don't necessarily turn in a business plan looking like the format that I want. You generally turn in the business plan looking like the example. Like, usually people will do something fancy or put like a fancy logo. And I believe this one is, yeah, just a sample business plan. So, you know, it would be something like this. But for the one that we're doing in this class, the logo, your logo should be about this size. And then none of this should be this size. This should be all 12-point font. And then you should have like a normal APA title page. It should be the title of your project, which in this case would be like business plan draft, or you can have your company's name, whatever you want to do. Then your name, then the university, the departments, the class, my name, and then the due date of this assignment. And then so that's how you want to have your title page. Don't have a disclaimer. When you do your table of contents, don't worry about doing 1.1, 1.2. Don't have any numbers over here. And if you want to have it underlined, you can, but ideally you don't even need it underlined. And then you don't have to hyperlink it. So like this, I can go to each section, but you do want this enumerated. And I could show you how to do a table of contents here in a second on Word. All right, so here's what you need. You need to have these completed in the draft. Obviously, your page numbers aren't going to be 100%, but you have to have the logo. You got to have the title page. Make sure the logo is above the title page. You have to have the table of contents. Or you don't need the numbers exact on the table of contents. I think I said that for the title page. You want to have a running header, and I can fix your running header once you get it started, but have a running header and then have your page numbers. So the page numbers should be on the right. And I'll show you how to set up a brand new paper here in a second. Executive summary. This is a copy and paste from one of your previous assignments if you don't already have it. Company description. This is also a copy and paste from the last assignment we just did. So don't worry about company description here in the marketing plan. Just take this out. I don't know why I have this written twice. You want to move this up to here. So here you should have company description, your mission, your vision, your training plan examples, and then your staffing. Who's going to be on your staff? These should all be level 1 headings. These are level 2 headings. Your product or services. This we just did in the last assignment. So you'll move the stuff from the last assignment into here, and then make sure you have a bullet point list of how much your services cost. So a brief paragraph of your product or your services, and then a bullet point list of how much they cost to your client. And then that should match up your target market socioeconomic status. If you have low socioeconomic status and you want to have a facility that's open to everybody, but yet you're charging $50 a month, that's not going to work out. Like, there's no way. So you have to target your services, the cost, to what your target market is and your consumer profile is. The community needs assessment. This should be some research. You should look up what area you want to open your place. You can look up census information. The easiest way to do that, like for instance, when I did mine here in North Carolina, I wrote a community needs assessment, and I even did a table of everything. And I think I might have like an old one of mine as an example. And you don't have to go this in depth, but if you want to present this to a bank, you better believe you have to go this in depth. So let's see if I have an old one of mine. I think I have an old one of mine somewhere. Let me just sort by type. Those job descriptions. Maybe I don't. I might not. I think I have it on my other computer. No. Okay, I don't. Well, that sucks. All right. Anyways, your community needs assessment should be, let's say you're going to open up a team strength and conditioning facility. So how many local Optimist teams are there? How many club teams are there? What is the socioeconomic status you're looking for? Let's say middle to upper middle income. So how many people in that county are at that range? And you could easily look that up. You pretty much just you can Google New Hanover County census data and socioeconomic status data, and it literally pops up. You can even find maps that pop up where the majority of people live in town that are low socioeconomic status versus middle upper, and then versus upper. So you'll want that in your community needs assessment. You can also look up data for whatever county of how many people are active. That's what I did for New Hanover County and Pender and Brunswick County. I was able to find out that, I think it was like 60,000 people in New Hanover County work out at least 2 days a week. So that's important. That's your community needs assessment. And this can really just be about a paragraph or two long, and then some bullet points of some data. So maybe like one paragraph long, and you say, the community I'm going for is New Hanover County. Specifically, I'm going for the area near UNCW. So my target market for my community needs assessment is within 5 to 10 miles radius of the UNCW area. And I looked up data on socioeconomic status of that area of what my target market is. And I looked up data of how active people are or how many sports teams there are. And then that's your paragraph. And then do a bullet point list of everything that you looked up. This many people work out. This many people are in teams. This many people are in this age range. Things like that. And then that's your community needs assessment. Your marketing plan, this company or description goes up into this section. And then this is everything from your previous assignments. So the last 2 or 3 assignments we did, just the copy and paste in here. So that's why it was so important that you kind of get this stuff right the first time, because then it's just super easy to get this stuff over. You only need the next few sections for the draft. But if you want to do some stuff in here, then I'll go through and I'll look at it and I'll give you some advice. Upfit timeline. This is if you have to do some construction. So for instance, when I opened up Seaside, we had two different facilities. The first one was 3,200 square feet. Well, it was just an empty room. So there was no walls. So I had to build an office. I had to build locker rooms. I had to build this. That's your upfit. So how long do you think it'll take for you to do that? It took us an entire month to do upfit, working literally nights and weekends. And we did all the work ourselves to save money because it cost a lot of money to do your upfit. Now, if you're going to go to a bank, you need to break this Upfit timeline and cost down to the detail. We're not going to do that crazy style, okay? But know that you would need to do that. Preferred location, just give a roundabout location. Preferred square footage, give a roundabout square footage of what you want your facility to be. To give you an example of some square footage, most homes that people grow up, a single family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath is anywhere between 1,500 to 2,500 square feet. So that's really small. So you can think about like a bedroom is usually around, maybe 300-400 square feet. If you're lucky and you have a real big bedroom, maybe 500 square feet. So imagine putting a squat rack in your bedroom and how much that would take up, or a leg press, that would take up a lot of room. So normal square footage of places is anywhere between 3,000 square feet plus. The second facility I had was 8,500 square feet, and that was a pretty good square footage. So whatever your preferred square footage is. Now know that your preferred square footage and your preferred location, this is going to affect your expenses, because your rent is based on, number one, location and square footage. If you're in the Mayfair area, your rent is usually $1.50 to $2 a square foot. So meaning if you have a 3,000 square foot facility, it's going to cost you about $6,000 a month. If you're going to be in a location that is not the nicest, or it's a warehouse district like a lot of CrossFits are, then usually your price per square foot is $1 a square foot. So just know that. You can go by those averages when you're coming up with this. Legal needs, just a small paragraph of, we are going to hire a lawyer to develop a risk management strategies guide, and our risk management strategies guide is going to have information such as Title IX issues, harassment in the workplace, like staff member to client, harassment in the workplace, staff member to staff member. It'll have rules and regulations for clients. So all that stuff needs to go in legal needs, and it's just one small paragraph. This legal needs area right here, this is EXS 311. So this is what you learn in 311. Same with insurance needs. You should learn a little bit of that in 311, but insurance needs, this is a one-page paragraph of what your type of business is going to need. Almost everyone needs general liability. Then everybody's going to need some sort of professional liability. Then some facilities will need workman's comp insurance if you have W-2 employees. So one paragraph of the insurance needs you will have, and then you can give, if you look up some examples or just Google average cost of general liability insurance for a fitness facility, average cost for general liability insurance for a physical therapist, or professional liability insurance. So your professional liability is like your malpractice insurance. And then your general liability is your general insurance that if someone trips and falls in your facility and they sue you, that's what covers you there. And then your workman's comp insurance, that's your insurance for your employees. If they get injured, they're covered as well. So you need those three types of insurance. And then in your financial plan, so account needs, how much does an accountant cost? Well, I'll tell you right now, an accountant usually costs about $150 to do your yearly taxes. That's on the low end. Then if you're going to use your accountant to do your sales tax every month, if you're going to sell stuff, if you sell any sort of products like t-shirts, bottles, vending machine stuff, food, whatever, you have to do a monthly payment to the state for state taxes, for sales tax. So your accountant has to do that. Then if your accountant is going to do payroll, it cost me on the low end, because I was friends with my accountant, about $200 a month for my accountant, and that's cheap. So to do my payroll cost about $200 a month. So I would have to print out the hours, print out the sessions, print out this, get all my time cards, send all that data together to my accountant, And then my accountant would do payroll twice a month. So that's about the cost for that. So that needs to be a paragraph and then a bullet point list of what it costs. Startup expenses. This is just a bullet point list of what you think it would cost to open your facility. Give a few examples of here. If you're going to be a PT clinic or have that in the facility, how much does one treatment table cost? Give that as an example. How much does one rehab equipment cost? Give that as an example. If you're a strength and conditioning facility, how much does one squat rack cost? How much does one a layer of turf cost, or whatever? It doesn't have to be that, or cardio equipment cost. So just give examples. Have several examples for equipment. Have several examples of what maybe upfit cost will be, construction, and you could just round about that. For instance, the construction at my facility cost $6,000, and that was us doing it ourselves. So that's on the cheap end. You want to have an example of a startup expense, and this is usually like a one-time budget deal. So a startup expense of all admin equipment. You're going to need to buy computers. You're going to need to buy point of sale software. So give a couple examples of those. A desk, a chair. You're going to need to buy lockers. Give examples of how much lockers cost. So just go into a fitness facility and see everything that they have and give examples of what it would cost to do a one-time purchase, a startup for all that. Now, that's not going to be your entire facility. I'm not saying that you have to come up with your entire budget, but give examples of each of those stuff. And then so have something from each type of sector of your business, whether it be admin, whether it be support for your staff, whether it be equipment for your clients, or whether it be like a vending machine, whatever. Operational cost, overhead expenses. This is like your day-to-day costs, your expenses. So this is rent. You get that from these two things. This is utilities. Just think about everything you pay for yourself at your own house, right? There's water, sewer, utilities. So come up with an about average for that. So you know how much your building or your apartment is or your house is for electricity. I average about $200 a month. So a business that's much larger square footage and maybe has TVs on all the time, but isn't running like a dishwasher or washing machine that really take up a lot of power, is probably going to be around $300 a month for electric. Your water and sewer and trash, that'll be about another $100, $150 a month. So those are all operational costs. Payroll is another one. Well, you're going to have a front desk person. So a front desk person makes anywhere between $10 to $15 an hour, depending on if they're billing insurance. If they're billing insurance, then usually they're around $15 to maybe $20 an hour because they get paid more because they have to have a special certification to do insurance. So are you going to have your front desk staff for 8 hours a day? If so, then at $10 an hour, that's $80 a day. And at 5 days a week, that is X number. At 10 days, it's X number. At 7 days. So I would do all of this on a month by month. So what's your startup expenses? Then what's your operational expenses per month? And then that'll make it easier to do your revenue forecast per 6 months, because then you just multiply this number here by 6, and then that gives you that number. And this should all be in bullet point format at this point. So really, you don't need a lot of paragraphs here. It's all just bullet point, or you can do it in a table. Sometimes it's nice in a table. Your operational and overhead expenses, definitely make sure that you add in kind of all sectors of what your business would be. So your admin, who do you need to be at the front desk? Your payroll with respects to, if you want to make it easy, just give one example of one personal trainer and then think that personal trainer does, let's say, 2 personal training sessions a day or 3 personal training sessions a day. And you charge, let's say, $50 per personal training session. Well, your personal trainer makes $30 for that session, let's say. So then your overhead on that, and you would write all this out. So that means that your overhead on that would be $30 and you would make $20 profit. So that would need to be delineated out between the two. What's profit? What's your overhead? And then you have all that stuff up. And then at the end of that bullet point list for this heading, have your total cost. Make sure you don't include your total cost as part of the profit that you made. That this should just be your cost. Then come up with your revenue forecast. So how much do you think you're going to make per month? So say that you put in that you have 50 members a month at, let's say, $50 a month. So then multiply that. That's how much you make for memberships. Then let's say you do 50 personal training sessions a month. And then so however much that is, times that by that, you know, you can come up with whatever numbers you have, whatever you want. And then that's your gross revenue. So you would write in gross revenue and then that money right there. Then you take this per month, times it by 6, minus it by this, and then that's your profit loss projection at 6 months. So your total expenses by minus your total, and then add in this because this is your first 6 months. So this plus this minus this gives you your profit loss projection for your first 6 months. And then you have to come up with your break-even analysis. And all that is what do you need to make here to break even as compared to this? Does that make any sense? Does that make sense? Yay, nay? Hopefully.
Yes.
Sweet. So just know that for this weekend, you only need these as headings. So just develop the headings for these. However, this should be done because you should have already done it. This you might as well go ahead and do, even though you only need the headings, but you've pretty much already done all of this. So they just need to be moved from the assignment over. And then this is already done. All this stuff should be done. So the idea is to try and get as much of this done, but you only need the headings for the draft. Now, how do we set up this in APA? So, wow, I have so many things to open. This is taking forever. And of course, this is not responding. God, this is taking a long time. All right. All right. I believe there is a way, and I can't remember. I always have to remind myself how to do this. There's a way to change this to APA formatting. I cannot remember that off the top of my head, but you can make this APA formatting. But let me just show you real quick how to do a table of contents. I think it may be in here somewhere. Themes. I don't know. Anyways, you can just Google how to make this APA. Once you turn this to APA formatting, like you have it set up to APA formatting, it changes it to Times New Roman 12-point font, double spaced, all that sort of stuff. But you need to make sure that happens. Now, when you want to do a table of contents, let me do a couple of headings, first of all. So imagine this isn't the title page. We'll have this be, actually do this first. Yeah, this is literally taking forever. No, it's in references. That's right. Okay. I like to choose, my goodness. I like to choose this one. So It automatically defaults this to not be an APA, so you'll always have to change this. So you just highlight the whole thing. Go in, make it Times New Roman. Why is this so slow? This is insane. Oh my God. What are we doing here? All right, Times New Roman, 12-point font, and then black ink. Okay, and then this should be centered, not bolded, and then make the whole thing double space. And then we shouldn't have any spacing above or below. And the whole paper should be set up like this, by the way. So double space, nothing before, nothing after, and then you're good there. So that's our table of contents. Let's go down and let's pretend like we have headings, right? So our first heading is going to be, let's see, what would be our first heading? Executive summary. So, or actually let's do company description. So that way you guys can see a better example of the level 1, level 2 headings. So company description. And then so highlight this, make it a level 1 heading, center it. And then we're going to have to change this because it automatically does this nonsense for some reason. It's really annoying. So boom, that's good. Good there. Change it Times New Roman, 12-point font. Bam, we're set. So now we go down. It automatically changes it back to this unless you go in and change the whole thing to Times New Roman. So now we want a level 2 heading. We go level 2 heading. Let's say level 2 heading from companies. Let's go mission and vision statement. So our level 2 heading is mission and vision. Got to change this back to Times New Roman. 12-point font. This should be bolded. And then obviously, this is bolded as well. So level 2 headings are bolded. We shouldn't have any level 3 headings. Then I highlight the whole thing. Paragraph, make sure there's nothing before, nothing after, double, boom. Now we're ready to start typing in stuff. So after this one, and I love it how it just automatically changes it back, but after this one, then you would add in your company, you know, this would be your company description from your marketing assignment. And then here, then you would add in your, you know, mission statements, blah, blah, bloop, and then, you know, vision statement. And then go from there. So that would be your mission statement, vision statement. And then so you're all set, you got your stuff ready. Now you go, if at the end of everything, you've typed up your whole stuff, you've laid out your entire paper, you got it all double space, 0 point before, after, everything Times New Roman, 12, all your headings done, all the stuff filled out that you need to fill out. Maybe you put some notes if you want. Then you go here, update table, and then automatically toggles and get your table updated. So then you're set. And that's it. So just prior to this, you would have your title page just prior to that. Then you do your table of contents, executive summary, company description, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. That is the whole draft project and final project. Any questions?
I don't think so. No, that like helps me a lot more.
Cool. Yeah, and for some of the other stuff, if you're confused about how to do some of this stuff that we did, go back and watch those videos and then look at the announcement of the example that I gave for all this. And then you'll be able to just, you know, kind of plug and chug and make that example. And like I said, this is nowhere near in depth as what you would actually need for a bank, but at least it gives you a rough idea of how much work it goes into this. Because these become a lot thicker and these will be like multiple pages. of information.
Okay.
Yeah, because a bank
Sounds
wants to
good.
see like the number of people in your target market and how you're going to target them.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Sweet. If there's no more questions, I will